Hello and welcome, I am the Soul Enchantress. And today I feel called to speak with you about one of the biggest reasons why you may be struggling to expand and increase the level of revenues that you are generating. So this is a phenomenon that I see mostly with business, with entrepreneurs who are either aiming to achieve the $1 million revenue mark or up to the $10 million revenue mark. However, this reason for your revenue levels being energetically hindered, or you feel like there's an energetic obstacle that stops you from achieving a specific revenue goal, there are many reasons for it, but I have noticed a common theme and a common reason. And also, even though it is prevalent for up to around $10 million in revenue, I've also noticed that sometimes in the higher levels of revenue generation, so if it is 100 million or $1 billion or more, I've noticed that some business leaders actually hit this obstacle as well. Okay, so what is it? Are you wondering what I am speaking about? Are you wondering what it is within you that is resonating at this vibrational frequency level of this obstacle that I am speaking about? Now, before I actually tell you what it is, I want you to understand that it sounds really simple. And you'd think that overcoming this obstacle that is stopping you from generating huge revenue goals is going to be simple to overcome because it sounds simple, and really in a way it is simple. However, the work that goes into overcoming this seemingly simple energetic obstacle, so to speak. I mean, I am using the word obstacle, but I don't believe in obstacles or blockages, but that's a story for another day, although I've spoken about it before. You'd think it's simple, however, the actual work that it takes in order to move this obstacle seems to be a big deal for most people who experience it, okay? So remember that. So if you are coming up against blockages or obstacles, so to speak, to raising your revenue, and you do identify with what I just am about to tell you, then know that you're not alone, and also know that even though you might think that you can move it yourself, or that you can talk yourself into moving it, or think yourself into moving it, or feel yourself into moving it, or do something to move it, it may not be as simple as that, and that is okay. Okay? All right. So, and I'd love to help you. So, one of the biggest, most common reasons I see why entrepreneurs run into an obstacle and a hindrance and struggle with raising their revenues is because of their judgments and how they are triggered by the success levels and the revenue levels that other entrepreneurs are creating. Now, let me put this another way. Do you find that when you hear of another entrepreneur either achieving your revenue goal or having surpassed it, is your automatic and silent response one of, well, why the hell can't I do it? Or is it one of, they must be doing something illegal? Or is it, I wonder if they're actually saying the truth. Maybe they're doing something else and they've got huge expenses, and so really their profitability is not as much. Now, this could actually be true, but however, that is a valid reason. However, if your first response when you hear of another entrepreneur achieving huge revenue goals or achieving successes, if your first response is something that triggers you to jump back instead of moving forward, then you are definitely being triggered, and it means there is a resonance, an energetic resonance, a vibrational frequency that is out of alignment, that is in disharmony with the goal that you are verbalizing, that you are thinking about, that you are feeling, and that you are wanting. You are in disharmony with that huge goal that you desire so much. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper. This also shows up in a couple of different ways, and one of them is that when you hear of someone achieving more revenue than you, or has surpassed the revenue levels you'd like to, or if you hear that they've achieved the success that you want to, so maybe you wanted to be featured in a certain publication, but then another entrepreneur is being featured in it, or maybe it's a podcast, or maybe it's some level of recognition. It could be anything. It could be an award, it could be an accolade, it could be belonging to a certain organization. It could be anything that is a point of recognition that they've got that you haven't got. It could also be that you're being triggered by something as simple as if, and I've noticed this a lot with a lot of CEOs and founders, especially in during my speaking engagements. So they could be people who are generating millions of dollars, or there could be those that are aiming for their, startups aiming for their first few millions or million. And when I speak about not my success, but my client's success, in letting them know simply the fact that I work with some of the most successful and powerful, high-profile global business leaders on the planet, and that if I use the word that, the billionaires that I work with, or something to that effect, it creates such dissonance inside some CEOs, founders, and entrepreneurs that they have some kind of a negative reaction to it. But what they don't understand is that they themselves are actually wanting the success they're hearing about. They themselves want that success, not to that level maybe, but they still want more success than they have. They still want to generate more revenue than they have. They still want to expand their business to a point more than their business is, or they also want to deal with clients in the caliber that I deal with. So it is kind of a little bit of the resonance inside you. If you are having these reactions, even when I'm speaking right now, if you're having these reactions, that means what you're actually resonating to is the emotions of envy. And if that envy is layered and layered, then it becomes jealousy. So you're resonating to the emotions of envy and jealousy, and maybe guilt for not having done it, or maybe shame that you are not receiving the accolades that the other entrepreneurs are, or maybe some kind of imposter syndrome where you feel that you are pretending to be successful and you're in this room full of people that are super successful and generating high levels of revenue that you would love to be doing, but you're not, so therefore you don't belong. Does that make sense? So all of these things, if these things, these thoughts, these feelings, these emotions, and these ideas are going around in your head, and these doubts are rampant, or certain fears are rampant, then you are at a dissonance with your huge goal. And that's the main point I want you to understand, that you are not resonating with the energetic vibration and frequency of the goal that you want to achieve, which in this case is increase in revenues and increase in success and expanding your business. So if you get the one thing from this message, that is, you're not alone. That is, it is okay that you feel this way. And the huge point that I want you to understand from this is that you can overcome this obstacle, and that you can achieve your huge goals, and that you can experience financial bliss, and that you can do all of this while you relax and rejuvenate, and you can live a deeply fulfilling and blissful life. And I would love to speak with you about how you can achieve your huge revenue goals, achieve your expansion in your business, and achieve your level of success that is right for you, that is unique to you, that is authentic to you, and do it in a way that is so meaningful and blissful for you. Okay, so I would love to hear from you. If this is you and any of this resonates with you, please don't waste time sitting around and trying to sort it out yourself, or trying to find things that will help you. You can either take a whole amount of years in order to get there, or let's discuss it and let me help you. I am the Soul Enchantress, and I invite you to message me via my website, soulenchantress.com. Joyous blessings.